Tonight we come your way from Resolute Athletic Complex in Columbus, Ohio. Semi-final night of the Ohio Box Lacrosse Series. And tonight in our first matchup, it'll be the lone undefeated in the round robin preliminary, Ohio Horde, and they will take on the number 4 seed, Stanley Steamers. Alongside Jonathan Schroeder, this is Todd Bell. We're happy to be with you here tonight. So 3 weeks in the books, I should say 3 games for each of these teams, little round robin competition. It ended up Ohio Horde was the 1 seed, 4 Stanley Steamers. After this, the 2 seeds and 3 seeds, Resolute and Overpower, will battle each other. And what it turns into, Jonathan, these are all rematches of what we had opening night here in the series.
Absolutely. It's fun to see it kind of come full circle. You have the Steamers team, they're 0-3. You have this Horde team, like you said, undefeated. But the scores of these games, no matter what team is playing in the Ohio Box Lacrosse Series, have been close. So we know that despite the records today, will have a very close competition, and I think that's exciting for everyone involved.
Looking back when these 2 teams played the first night, obviously Ohio Horde was the winner in that game. I believe it was 14-10 was the final. 2 of those goals empty netters late in the game. It was a sloppy game. It was a lot of turnovers, transition, up and down. I expect both of these teams will play much better and much differently here tonight against each other.
I think we've seen both of these teams adjust to box lacrosse, get comfortable with the style of play that's indoors. One thing I have noticed, though, and we've talked about this before, this Horde team doesn't feel like the best team out there. They've manufactured wins. They're a scrappy team. They're very physical, and I think they drag a lot of the other teams down into that level of play. They bring them into their environment, and they beat them that way.
So Ohio Horde will be the team in the green, Stanley Steamers in the yellow. Our keepers, Josh Wade to our left, will be in goal tonight for Stanley Steamers. He's been their goalie the entire way, and maybe the best goalie we've seen in the series. Andy Lopez, Jonathan, to our right. He has been outstanding.
I mean, you can really go back and forth when you talk about the goalie performances in these games. Both teams in this game and then in the upcoming game have had opportunities and runs where their goalies will stand on their heads, and it's been fun to watch.
It'll be Noah Sitak, the face-off X for the Stanley Steamers. Logan Spaeth will be in the X here for Ohio Horde. Winner will advance to tomorrow night's Good River Cup at 7 o'clock right here on NLL. So ready to go here tonight.
Yeah, pre-game, both of these teams are actually warming up a little bit more than expected, so really excited to see if that yields them a little bit cleaner of a game.
Sitak will win the opening faceoff. He's going to try and take it on his own, and he scores immediately. Noah Sitak wins the faceoff all the way from the defensive end, carried into the offensive end, and scores the first goal of the game.
Big energy play to get this started. We've talked about it. Momentum is an important part of this box lacrosse game. The Steamers scoring early, trying to make a statement here and say our playoff chances are not dead yet.
We have not seen the face-off specialists get many opportunities in this series, and kind of ironic that's how this one will start tonight. And Sitak will win another face-off right back to the offensive end. The pass to Jackson Carawan didn't connect, and Ohio Horde will finally get an opportunity with the ball for the first time. If you haven't been with us, 4 10-minute running clocks. Brief period in between periods, halftime, and if we are tied at the end, 3-minute sudden death overtime that if it's still tied will lead to a shootout after that. Josh Wade will make his first save of the night. We'll see the Steamers go back on offense. Has to be a big emotional lift here for the Steamers to get the first goal in this game and kind of dominating play here in the first 2:15. That pass across will go all the way down to the corner where Van Voorhis will pick it up here for the Steamers. 30-second shot clock in effect. That one will end up in front of the cage. Oh my, what a hit as Blake Carawan gets depleted. Ball goes down into the corner. Horde is racing back the other way. Dominic Shaw, who's had a big series, will score the first game for the Horde.
Yeah, that speaks to what the Horde is all about there. You see a big physical play on their defensive end and go, go, go the other way. Just like you mentioned, Shaw has been a fantastic scorer for this Horde team. He's gotten the ball in every spot on the field and scored in every spot as well. So it's been fun to see him play. no doubt he will be a big, important part of this game today.
And don't forget about the big hit in front of the net to our right that led to the turnover and led to that goal. That is one thing that we have seen, Jonathan, each game. The physicality has picked up and the intensity has picked up each game. Yeah,
people are realizing just how much they can get away with indoors and just how close the players are compared to the field game. There's a lot more you can do, a lot more damage you can enact on your fellow opponent.
Horde in possession. Mickelmeyer on the drive in towards the cage, had it jarred free. Gathered down in the corner. Quick shot on goal by Blackwell. Rebound picked up by the Horde. Zach Gleason has it. Now back out on top. That shot score by Mickelmeyer as he goes to the top left-hand corner.
Great work from him. He's been pretty quiet in the series, so nice to see him come alive in this first playoff game. I don't know if you could hear that, Todd, but the coach is there, shouting, communicating, really talking about the movement of that offense. It's something we haven't seen yet. And I think just shows the stakes today a little bit higher, and the players, the coaching staff all feeling it.
Jonathan, you noted right as we faced off here in this one, both these teams being the first game have the much lengthier time out onto the field, and they were actually working on some stuff. We were kind of joking week one, they're just introducing each other. Now here they are in their fourth game. They're actually working on trying to put in offense.
Yeah, I think the coach still had the naming sheet out there for the Horde, but they were running through a full set offense, and on the other end, the Steamers were getting a lot more reps than we're prone to see these guys get.
Another Horde possession here, trying to add to their lead. Skylar Woolen gives it up out on top. The long shot by Dominic Shaw. You hear the shot clock expiring. And so it'll be the Steamers down by a score of 2-1 in possession. Early here in our first quarter, almost 4 minutes gone by. And again, with the running clock, these quarters will move quickly.
Time is very precious in this game.
Gornis out on top, Jackson Carawan. Out on the right side, it's Blake Carawan. He gets by his defender. Pass in front, trying to swipe at it was Camella. And again, we're going to get a whistle. Shot clock reset. It's going to be Steemer's ball, as there was a foul against the Horde. So it'll be the Steamers with a complete new 30 on the shot clock. Zagornis will give it up. Faking on the shot. Out of the wing, Garcia. Pivots back around, hands it off to Camella. His shot will go wide. Battling for the rebound, and Camella's just going to pick it up. So another 30 here for the Steamers.
Steamers have really turned a page on their offense. This is looking so much more settled. They're moving the ball a lot quicker. They're getting way better looks out of it.
Carawan being chased all over out on top. His low shot is saved by Lopez. Horde in transition will have Sestilli carrying it all the way to the other end. Gets a shot off. It is saved by Wade, who'll cover it up. And now in transition, it's the Steamers. Halfway through our first quarter, 2-1 in favor of Ohio Horde. As good job getting back defensively by Ohio Horde, and so the Steamers now will settle into their offense. Still making substitutions behind the play. Wolford dumps it off in front. That shot by Xander Johnson, does it go in? They're gonna look at it first. They got to let the goalie get up. We've seen this a number of times, Jonathan, where it's smothered by the goalie and they have to determine whether it's in or not, and this one did go across the line. And so Xander Johnson will tie the game for the Steamers.
Looks like Lopez was a little frustrated on the outcome of that one. Maybe he was leaning on the ball, pushed it over the line before the refs could see, but Xander there doing a good job of just sweeping to the middle, not making his shot placement too obvious for the keeper, and putting it away for the Steamers.
So our second tie here in the first quarter. 6 minutes gone by. Sitek and Spaeth in the face-off X. It'll come all the way to the near side boards where it becomes a 4 or 5-man scramble to pick up the ground ball. Wolford will finally do so for the Steamers. Collision out in the middle of the field as Blackwell and Simpson collide. And Ohio Horde will eventually come away with it. And that's the kind of action we expect to see all night.
Absolutely. This is going to be one of the first settled possessions for this Horde. They had one opportunity where they got a good look. I'd love to see them replicate that. They're a high-dodging team. They don't pass and move the ball as much as these other teams, but I think if they want to win today, they need to have more good looks.
Mickelmeyer with a feed down behind, and it turns into a shot clock violation. Peter Marietta was behind the goal, couldn't make the catch of that pass, and so essentially that ended that possession. And the Steamers will go back on offense in a tie game. 3:12 to play here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, prime example there. They just held the ball way too much at the top of the key. Didn't force any looks, or didn't force the defense to move.
Carawan tries to feed down low, couldn't connect. And battling down there is Alex Van Voorhis. And it's a turnover, and here we come quickly back the other direction. Dominic Shaw makes a cut to his right, couple of fakes and buries it inside the right post to give Ohio Horde the lead back.
That was truly a beautiful fast break goal. That's something we've come to expect from Shaw. I was almost going to interrupt there and say, the moment he caught that ball, I could have told you he was going right to goal. He had that look in his eye, and he capitalized.
Boy, not only did he make a great cut, but then the fake as well.
Oh, keeper was not prepared for that one at all. That's the type of movement you want to create in these box goalies because they take up so much space.
So 3-2 in favor of the Horde, and a pair of goals now have been scored by Dominic Shaw into the air. Not a wise decision by Noah Sitek. He got hit as he let go of it, and the rebound grabbed by the Horde. Now they are in transition. Stanley out of the offensive end now will allow his teammates to make the substitution. Their bench off to the right. And you'll see Gleason now join the group as they've got their 5 on the field they want. Gleason dodges to his left, fires it to X. Nothing available out in front. Now a tough pass out on top. Didn't connect. Woolen hit up against the glass on the far side. Ground ball. Sitek still out there, and he's able to pick it up. And here come the Steamers trailing 3-2. 1:35 to play first quarter.
Sitek looking a little gassed on that one. I'm wondering if another goal comes here quick, if they'll look to someone else to do the faceoff. Took that big hit down low and then played some defense.
Here's Jackson Carawan. He'll feed it out on top. Low shot here. Bounces right into Lopez. On the shot by Zagornis. 1:15 to play first quarter. Horde with a 1-goal lead and possession. Halliday crashes in just high off the right side of the post. Rebound grabbed by the Horde. Now Blackwell will have it out on top. Another substitution. Joining the play now, Bickelmeyer back to Blackwell. He'll go to X. Diving in around, shot no good. Saved there by Mason on the diving try by Barkheimer. And it'll be a shot clock violation. There was no reset, and so it'll be Steamer's ball.
Yeah, Barkheimer probably one of the most dive-heavy offensive players that we have in this Ohio Box Lacrosse Series. He's good for 1 or 2 shots, if not goals a game doing that. So expect to see him repeat that process in this game.
Late first quarter, opportunity here for the Steamers to try and tie it. Shot from out of the wing, another great save by Lopez. Ball caroms right back out to Garcia, who took that shot. Now a fast break opportunity for Nate Clark. 1-on-0, Clark moves in. Great save made by Wade. Kicks it over to the corner. 12 seconds to play here in the first period. Carawan will fire it ahead. Clock winding down. Defense is over there trying to prevent the last shot. 2 seconds and 1. Johnson's shot fires wide, ending our first quarter of play. Dominic Shaw for the 3-0 Ohio Horde with a pair of goals. They lead the Steamers 3-2 at the end of the first quarter. You're watching the Ohio Box Lacrosse Series. One period in the books. Ohio Horde with a 3-2 advantage, Jonathan, and fast-paced, physical, great goalie play in the opening frame.
Yeah, it's been a mix of all the things we love to see in this game. There's a lot of energy on this field. Some players are knowing how to make the most of it, and some players are just kind of jumping out of their seats right now. I think people need to calm it down, get better looks, be a little bit more patient, create what they want on offense, and take away the ball on defense.
Winner advances to the final tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And a tight first quarter here. Dominic Shaw with 2 goals. Sitek and Johnson, each a marker in the first quarter for the Steamers. In the yellow, teams will change in. Josh Wade, keeper now to our right. Andy Lopez to our left. Still waiting to put time back on the scoreboard. And now we are ready to play lacrosse. And Sitek had the advantage, but didn't win the faceoff, but then it got kicked right to one of the Steamers. That was Jackson Carawan, who made a careless pass, but they do maintain possession. Now Carawan tries to slip by a couple defenders, shoots low. Another good save by Lopez, and quickly in transition now to be Cade Galco. Feeds it ahead to Shaw. Shaw moves in, dives forward, scores, and it'll count. What a play again by Dominic Shaw. Cade Galco's kind of been one of those, underselling players for us. And we've talked about him a couple of times. He just makes all the right plays. Had a great pass there.
Yeah, I'm right on point with you on that one. Have him down in my notes. He just plays long stints on defense, and he's a transition presence. He finds the right guy, he gets tough ground balls, and he always seems to help assist this Ohio Horde team get goals.
So Shaw hat trick already with 3 of their first 4. Sitek will win another face-off here for the Steamers. Now they've got to get their offense going, trailing by a pair. Now Walford, he'll work around a couple of screens. That shot way high, but right on the doorstep. Blake Carawan will pick it up. Walford tries to go behind the back and miss the cage. Got his own rebound off the wall. Now he's looking for some help here. Fires it on top to Max Schilling. Shot clock winding down here for the Steamers. Shot from the left side by DeSalle. Save again by Lopez. He'll try and make the transition pass, but it hit the netting on the top of the ceiling, and so it goes right back over to the Steamers.
Yeah, the Gilman is not an option in this box lacrosse game. They got those nets, prevents that quick clear. Don't want to hit that fan, you know?
You better throw some line drives if you're the keepers. You can't get it very high in the air.
Absolutely.
For the first time, we see Steve Waldeck has joined the offensive fray here for the Steamers, playing in his first game of the series. Now a low shot here, and another great save by Lopez. And the ground ball will be won in the corner here by Sestelli for Ohio Horde. And so now Ohio Horde leading by a pair 2 minutes into the second quarter. They will have possession. Now the Horde will set things up. Mickelmeyer out on top. Finally, their last substitution, Blackwell, will come in. He'll immediately dodge right down the alley. Another great save by Wade. Picked up in the corner by the Horde. Now coming in from X, and that low shot, and it's going to be a save. It will be by Josh Wade. And the possession will head back over now to the Steamers.
I think one of my favorite things about those questionable goal moments is you'll see players on the Horde just raising their hands saying, oh, that's a goal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a goal. They didn't even have a good vision. They're just going to go right away and say, hey, that's us. Oh, yeah.
Now Jackson Carawan will hand it off down low. Feet across to the weak side. Great play by Zagornis. Lopez, another terrific move from one side of the goal to the other, make the save.
Yeah, it was a quick adjustment. He knew where the pass was going. It was telegraphed a little bit. Again, moving this ball quick means that you're trying to put some disguise on it.
Low shot by Woolen, saved by Wade. Rebound will be picked up inside the goalie's circle, and now trying to break out of there in transition. This is Cooper Simpson. Now Simpson will give it up. We'll see the Steamers, who scored the first goal of this game, on offense here. Open shot by Carawan. Did he get it low and in? He did. Got it through the wickets of Andy Lopez. Jackson Carawan will get his first goal. They pulled within 1.
Good work from him. He's a speedy player. He oftentimes shoots low. One of the things I'm wondering, though, right now is if his shorts are regulation. I don't know if you saw those things, but riding up pretty high. With those long jerseys, it becomes a questionable fashion choice there.
The other thing I'm noticing is there are a lot of low shots in this game right now by the Steamers on Lopez. You wonder if that's something that, in scouting and seeing Lopez play for 3 weeks, that either A, they've noticed, or B, they're trying to set him up for something later in the game.
I think sometimes, too, changing that release point makes it harder for defenders to work with. And so if you can do a sweeping shot, the stick isn't in a place where being contacted, and you get a quicker release from that low spot, then they're going to take that shot.
So I think we're going to face off again here. The two face-off men were battling for the ball Our referee said I got shielded on whose stick it went out of last, so let's just do a redo.
Absolutely, more lacrosse. Fair way to play it.
So Sitek and Spaeth back into the X. And Sitek will, well, Body had picked up that ground ball, but he didn't. Bickelmeyer grabbed it for the Horde. Double teamed, being mugged, fights through it in front of their bench that shows the appreciation. Now the shot save made by Wade. Wow, what a great play on both ends. Now back the other way, it'll be Xander Johnson.
The Horde had scored there. That would have been a massive energy play.
No question.
I would have loved to have seen that. He was dancing all around and through those guys. And that has some injuries to show that.
Ball loose, picked up by Lopez. And he doesn't have anything right away, so he'll just slow it down and give it off now to Galko. This thing I love about Galko, he's got that shiny purple helmet.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the easiest players to identify on the field.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I'm like, memorizing names sometimes in this new series can be tough, but he's an easy one.
And that shot will go wide by Barkheimer. Battle for it will come all the way to the near side corner. And we're going to get a whistle and a stoppage of play for the moment. Yeah, well, the one thing that in this series, looks like we got a penalty here, our first of the game. They're not wearing, not all of them are wearing the same uniform numbers week to week or night to night.
Yep.
It's just kind of based alphabetically on the uniform number they're given, so it's not like we can commit numbers to memory.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to identify those helmets that they're wearing, and here we go for the first time, Jonathan. Man-up opportunity here for Ohio Horde.
Yeah, these man-up opportunities have been rare in general for teams.
Boy, and Shaw left wide open down the alley and then missed the net.
I guess he needs to have guys draped all over him.
Two shockers right there, right?
Yeah.
All the way down into the corner. Schilling will track it down for the Steamers. 2-minute man-up. Steamers can try and kill 30 seconds of it here. They're going to be in no hurry to try and do anything offensively. And let's see if the Horde come out and press the issue a little bit. Dangerous pass there, almost intercepted by Halliday. Then he ends up with it, playing it off the wall. So now they'll have the opportunity to get their man-up offense set back up.
Yeah, I've seen some poor defense from the Steamers so far. They've let guys get to the middle, both in that man-up case and in general. I think they need to do a better job shutting that off and driving and forcing guys outside.
Feed across. Another save as that one went off the post on the shot attempt by Marietta. Now the Horde again back on offense, and a low whistler by Aiden Evans beats Wade low to his right, and they get the man-up goal.
That could not have been placed any better. That was the bottom left corner through and through. I think sometimes that chaos lends itself to offensive opportunity. You see the ball kind of coming loose, guy coming up with it and finding a way to the goal because players get out of position, right? You want to get ahead of the ball. Your defensive player doesn't pick it up, and now you're stranded, left in some fast break situations.
So, man-up goal scored by Aiden Evans. 5-3 advantage now. We're at 2 minutes to play in the first half. Shot from the outside, and that goes. Matthew DeSale with the goal for the Steamers. What an answer.
And Todd, that's another low one. I think your theory is tracking well. We saw it last week in those final games as well. Low shots on Lopez were starting to go. I'm wondering if that's the magic formula to beat what has been a good goalie run for him.
So the first goal of the game for DeSale. They have 4 goals, 4 different goal scorers. That's been another theme we've seen in this series in the 3 games that each team got to play in regular season. Now out in front, a great feed, and then Peter Marietta, no problem finishing that one against Wade.
Yeah, again, we talked about Galko. He's always involved in the play somehow. He's listed as a defensive player, but you can see he's no stranger to transition. He picks that ball up, and he snags it out of air on the run, and finds an easy Marietta for a goal. The stick fakes there were superb as well.
Nothing Josh Wade could do, and so Ohio Horde immediately answers with the goal, and now we're in the last minute, 50 seconds to play here in this first half. Sitek will win the faceoff. Each team gets a first half timeout, and the Steamers will take theirs after not only winning the faceoff, but Sitek was being surrounded by Ohio Horde players.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he had gotten that ball out, if they would have had a fast break opportunity, but their coach didn't want to sit and find out. He wanted to get a nice settled offensive possession. to finish off this first half.
So what we've seen here in this first half is a couple of back-to-back goals scored by Ohio Horde. Down 1-0, they scored 2 in a row to make it 2-1. And then after it was tied at 2, they scored 2 straight to make it 4-2. We've alternated goals ever since. And right now a 2-goal game in the last moments, 50 seconds left here in the first half. Important possession here for the Steamers if they can score, cut this back to 1 perhaps at halftime.
Absolutely. The Horde have been very good at responding this game. They didn't come out strong. They didn't have the energy initially, but they've kept their heads down and they've played the game they've played all series, which is very physical. It's been interesting to see how this will pan out. I think if we want to see the Steamers get a win in this second half, they're going to need to level the score, if not bring it up to 1 and try and ride that out, because the Horde, every time they sense that the Steamers get near goal-wise, they really go on the attack.
So it'll be Xander Johnson to start with the ball at midfield. Game clock still hasn't started, and nobody has noticed it. Now they finally get it started, so a little extra time here in the half. That shot goes wide. Shot clock, of course, was still going, so just their 30 seconds. Now out in front, that pass goes wide. Johnson gathers it up. He gets tied up, loses the handle of it, just flips it towards the end. That'll go up into the netting. So 28 seconds left, and the Horde will end up with a few extra seconds here on the back end. And now the Ohio Horde will use its timeout with now 18 seconds to play here in the first half.
It's a very vocal timeout.
Yes, it was. No question.
I think I heard that one before the ref did.
Yep, no question. So now same scenario, the Horde with an opportunity to make this a 3-goal advantage at halftime. Obviously not insurmountable, but we've seen 2 and 3, a 4-goal lead is very hard to overcome as good as these two teams are.
Yeah, I think even with some changes in momentum, normally someone who scores 4 or has 4 unanswered has generally come out the winner. I don't think there's ever been a time where we've had an upset where someone come back from a 4-goal deficit. They may have tied it at one point, but they never crossed that threshold and come back for the win. I really think maybe Barkheimer or Shaw here is going to get behind the cage, try and go for something. I know the plays that I saw them running and setting up initially were all open sets, all 5 guys circled around. So I wonder if they'll do some sort of motion out of that. There's a lot of things that they can do here. The coach took advantage, again, like you said, of that extra time to practice. But again, both these teams, not the best in this series at settled possessions. They're good at creating chaos. They're good at scoring up individually. So it's really a toss-up on what's going to happen here.
So 23 seconds remain for Ohio Horde leading by a pair.
And take a look here, Barkheimer behind the cage. So I wonder if we'll get some motion out of that, get him the ball. Oh, maybe I jinxed it there.
Max Schilling jarred it free. And the Steamers now with 10 seconds. Ball just flipped towards the offensive end for the Steamers. Grabbed by the Horde. Galco's got it with 4 seconds. Still time, low shot. Finally rolls to Wade. He'll try and fire at the length of the field. And that will do it for our first half of action, 6-4. A lot happened in the last 23 seconds when we thought it was just going to be an offensive set for the Horde. Thoughts after one half of play, Jonathan?
I think this is the game I love to watch. There's lots of ups and downs. Horde, again, showing their true colors as a gritty, scrappy team. These games have sometimes devolved into more chaotic play, and they have always come out the winners of those games. The Steamers, I'd love to see them slow it down, get long possessions. They can shoot. They've proven that in this first half. I think if they keep that up, they'll slowly climb their way back to a win.
All right, second half coming up in a few moments. 6-4, Ohio Horde on top here at the half. 6-4, the Ohio Horde have the lead. Semifinal night in the Good River Cup Ohio Box Lacrosse Series. Final tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Todd Bell, Jonathan Schroeder with you here as we are underway in our second half of action. Steamers will win the face-off, and they'll have it here to begin this third quarter. 4 different goal scorers here tonight for the Steamers. Jackson Carawan gets free, wide open shot, fires it wide. Rebound will carry him out to Zagornis. Now Zagornis fires it to X. Carawan waiting right there, feet out in front. Didn't connect with Camella. Ground ball won by Skylar Woolen for Ohio Horde. Now Woolen, fast break, in front to Shaw, turns and scores. Well, a great pass by Woolen, and obviously we've seen what Dominic Shaw can do when he gets in that close.
Shaw is automatic. There hasn't been a single pass he hasn't caught today, and there hasn't been a single goal aside from the one where there's no one on him that he hasn't finished. So I think he's thriving right now. It'd be interesting to see any sudden adjustments from these teams to try and shut him down, but in transition, that's a tough thing to do.
4 of the 7 goals for Ohio Horde scored by Dominic Shaw. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, had a 5-goal game early in this series. Now quickly back the other way, Sitek, a nifty little feed to Mason Wolford, but he couldn't make the catch of the pass, and Ohio Horde back the other way.
Yeah, the Horde really starting to make these Steamers pay for their mistakes. Great look by Sitek, but not able to finish there. Could be a different story if it was.
Now Gleason, great check by Wolford to take it away, but Gleason ends up with the ball anyways. Now they're running out of time to shoot, feet out in front. Great catch and shot by Stefan, but a save again made by Mason, and the Steamers trailing by 3 have it. Wolford didn't make the catch, and some carelessness out of the Steamers here in the third quarter. Battle for the ground ball in the Steamers' offensive end, and it'll finally be picked up by Ohio Horde. They're getting all the 50-50 balls right now.
Yeah, I think that's really determining who's winning this game. They've just had more chances. Sitek, even on the faceoff win, has created some more possessions for the Steamers team, and they haven't been able to do anything with it.
Now feed out on the left-hand side, try to make something happen. Bickelmeyer, as he's got a goal already tonight. That one off the shoulder of the keeper, Wade. Ground ball battle in the offensive end for Ohio Horde will be eventually, boy, still battling. And the Steamers, no, Ohio Horde ends up with it. So they win that long battle and they win another ground ball. Extra possession here, Bickelmeyer lost the handle of it.
He was thinking about going for the dive and changed his mind halfway through.
Now Schilling comes away with it for the Steamers. Just gets shoved down into the corner, and it looks like we're going to have a penalty here, a delayed penalty against Ohio Horde. So Steamers, they will let their substitutions make their way into the offensive end. And if they don't score, they're going to have a man-up advantage. Carawan again mishandles the pass, and the Horde finally will pick it up, and this will bring up the penalty. Again, just the passes aren't aren't getting to where they're supposed to be, or the catches aren't being made. They're just a step behind right now as this game is worn on.
Not at all for the Steamers. I think one of the things a lot of coaches will tell players, especially in box, especially when you're in a shooting position, which with these close quarters is going to be all the time, is to make sure you complete that catch before you think about shooting. A lot of times you can see these players get a little giddy, they get carried away with the fact they may have a shooting opportunity, and they forget to do the little things right, which is making that catch, bringing it in your stick, receiving it, and then being able to take that shot.
And Jonathan, I think you would agree, it's kind of what the Ohio Horde does, right? They speed up your game a little bit and kind of force you into careless mistakes.
Absolutely. I think their chaotic physicality lends itself to trying to get looks that aren't there.
I have no idea how that pass got to Alex Van Boris, who scores on the dive. Well, we just talked about how they haven't been able to connect on things. That was a beautiful pass by Jackson Kerouac.
Yeah, and again, that comes at a time where the Horde is still being pretty chaotic. Threading of that needle was an amazing pass, a beautiful look there. Again, maintaining that composure, being able to move the ball when there are players on you in this game is going to be essential for the Steamers to make a comeback, and it's really essential for any team if they want to have good offensive box lacrosse.
We thought 3 goals might be enough of a lead as Sitek ends up winning the faceoff, shoots it right into the chest, but then a rebound gathered by Van Boris, and he scores. Alex and Adam with back-to-back goals now for the Steamers, who trail by 1.
And Sitek has really been making a difference so far in this game. He got that first goal, taking it down, running from the defensive all the way to the dive on the offensive end. He's had good looks that other people have not been able to catch and capitalize on when it comes to passing, and that one just another case where attacking the goal leads to good results for the Steamers.
This time Spaeth, he initially had the ground ball. Now it'll finally be picked up by Nate Clark. And Ohio Horde will have the possession with 4:38 remaining here in the third quarter. They lead by 1. Barkheimer will bring it into the offensive end. Dylan Camella lost his stick, so he's playing out there defenseless a little bit, and a diving shot here, and another goal by Dominic Shaw, who's having quite the night.
Yeah, I think this is making his run for the MVP of this series so far. He's been fantastic for the Horde all around, and tonight he's really just feeling comfortable. You can see anytime he goes to the goal, he isn't panicked. He's very relaxed. He has good vision. His head is up when he's dodging. He knows what he needs to do to get goals, and he is making it happen.
Dominic Shaw, 5 goals. The lead back out to 2 for Ohio Horde at 8-6. That ball will be won by the Steamers. Lachlan Korn fires it across. Low shot, good save made by Lopez. Trying to make a long outlet. Now he'll just wisely back it off, and they'll transition with Aiden Sexton. Sexton tracked down from behind, lost the handle, but gathers it back up. Now they will battle along the wall. Barkheimer, he'll hand it off. Feed out in front, turning, shooting, and Wade will make another save for the Steamers. Good thing he was paying attention to what was going on as it came right back to him.
Yeah, that was a little scary for the Steamers there. An own goal would be a pretty sad prospect here when you're down by only 2.
Mason Wolford gives it up. Merrick Zagornis. Now the Steamers into their offensive end set. That one past Wolford goes down into the corner. Under 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Now out on the wing, feed out in front. Wolford's shot saved again by Andy Lopez.
Despite not scoring there, the Steamers using a lot more of the field, getting a lot more spacing. I really like to see that from them. It led to a really good look. I think they need to keep that up. It's stuff that is going to get them back in this game.
Eckelmeyer from out on top gets things started. Stutter steps right, comes back left. Waldeck stays with him defensively. Now the feed. Lost in front by Galco. Shot clock will go off. And it'll be Steamer's ball, but a quick double team in the defensive end. Still able to come out of there with it will be Ritchie. They got to get it across in a hurry, and Ritchie just fires it to the other end. It'll get all the way to the boards.
Yeah, picking it up down in that corner before letting the shot clock run out was probably a bad decision for the Steamers. 2 Horde members there ready to mug that player.
Well, they catch a break. They avoided the 10-second violation, but now the shot clock was ready to expire, so Camella just fired it, trying to get it on cage. And now it'll be Ohio Horde possession. Well, lost opportunity in a couple of ways there by the Steamers, who trail by 2. 1:37 to play, third quarter.
Yeah, these games are won by narrow margins. A lot of times it's just those shooting opportunities. If you get more balls on cage, so to speak, then you're going to win the game.
Shot from in front, right into the stick of Mason, who will make the save on the shot by Harless. Quickly the other way, getting him to go the wrong direction. Alex Van Boris will score. Boy, one of the rare times you see Lopez was going to his right, and Van Boris buried it in the top right corner of the net.
It's always fun to see offensive players who are patient, who throw good stick fakes, and who really open up the cage, because then people look at it and say, oh, hey, it's actually easy to score on that goal. Look at how far the keeper is off from his line. You can just pass it in. But rarely does that happen, simply because a lot of these keepers stay home, or because there's not enough time to throw that many fakes.
And late third quarter, Sitek wins the faceoff, scored the game's first goal, tried to tie it up right there. That'll be last touch by Ohio Horde out of bounds. And with 34 seconds to go, a restart here for the Steamers, down 8-7. Once down by 3 here this period. Carawan trying to make something happen from the point.
Steamers need to keep their spacing here. They worked for him before.
Alex Van Boris loses his footing, then lost the ball. It'll be picked up, and a diving kind of Hail Mary type of shot missed by Schilling. 9 seconds to go.
Who it is.
Dominic Shaw. They got 3 defenders on him. Shaw dives in, shoots, save made by Mason, and a chaotic end to our third quarter of play. It's a 1-goal game. The winner will move on to tomorrow night's Good River Cup final. It's 8-7 Ohio Horde on top. This is the Ohio Box Lacrosse Series. Along with Jonathan Schroeder, this is Todd Bell, fourth quarter of our semifinal coming up. Number 1 seed Ohio Horde leads the 4 seed Stanley Steamers by a score of 8-7 when it was 7-4 early in the third quarter. Thought might get away from the Steamers. Great reaction by them.
Yeah, there's a point in time where we kind of both looked at each other and said, hey, this game could be over. But I think if the Steamers are going to get back in this game, if they want to make a run, it's going to be off the back of Sitek right here with this faceoff.
He's had a great night in the faceoff X and has a goal and wins the ground ball here. Shoved all the way down into the corner. Bad spot for Sitek. He's double teamed down there. And now they're fighting the 10-second clock. Once again, they've just got to fire it to the other end. Schilling fires it into open space, and they win the faceoff but lose the possession. That's what the Horde defense will do to you.
I'm really disappointed that they were able to get an open field double team on Sitek. Steamer's not helping out their guy. He could have easily just dumped it to the other corner there. There's a player readily available. They got to vocalize that sooner.
Out on top, shot here right into the midsection of Mason, and now the physicality, a little pushing and shoving after the whistle in front.
Call it goalie interference there, most likely.
And so this penalty is going to go against Ohio Horde and will give the Steamers their second man-up opportunity. Both teams are 1 for 1 tonight. I'm
chuckling because while the camera won't see it, the Horde are pointing at the scoreboard while Josh Wade, the goalkeeper of Steamers, is mouthing something to them. Gotta love when it gets competitive.
It didn't take long in this series for things to get spirited.
Not at all. People got comfortable, and then they got physical, and then they got mouthy. And and I'm all for it.
All right, man-up opportunity here for the Stanley Steamers.
Yeah, again, open set here. They're going to do a lot of rotation, a lot of picks. You'll see they'll use this middle guy as a facilitator, as well as someone who can rotate down and cut. Carawan in that spot is perfect.
And he scores! Again, a low shot. Lopez this time didn't get down in time, and for the third time tonight, we are tied.
Those low shots at distance, they're interesting. Again, man down, you can't apply direct pressure to that middle guy unless you rotate. And a lot of teams will want to stay in that box, not force that rotation because it leads to easier ball movement. It leads to doorstep goals. Instead, they'll opt to take that shot from up top. And unfortunately for the Horde, their game plan does not pan out.
And Jonathan, for the first time since it was 2-2, we are tied. Sitek tries to give them the lead. Another save, rebound, scores! Marin Zagornis will give the Stanley Steamers the lead on the rebound goal.
I'm heating this up. We said it, Sitek is gonna make or break this game. He's been getting face-off wins. He's been bringing the ball forward or taking possession. The Steamers have to decide, do they want to help him out? Do they want to get him involved in the offense? Do they want to make his life easy and get open and be available when they choose? The answer, yes. They start to win the game.
First lead for the Steamers since they led 1-0. And this face-off will carry them all the way in front of the keeper, Mason, who has to make a very tricky save on a kick shot. And now it'll be the Steamers with momentum. And coming back, Sitek will leave it ahead, and now they'll start to substitute.
I think the Steamers here are capable of spacing this out, getting slow, cutting looks, really making this game a different level of pace that'll play in their favor.
That shot goes out of play, and so Ohio Horde down by a goal. The Horde scored their last marker at 4:22 to play in the third quarter, 3 straight here by the Steamers. The only team that scored 3 in a row tonight.
They find themselves in pretty unique territory. They're not down often. We'll see if they can adjust to it.
Mickelmeyer feeds it out on top. That shot right off of the left shin guard of the keeper Mason. Horde will win the rebound. Mickelmeyer turns, fires, scores! Game tied. He whistles that one past Josh Wade to even the game with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, really shooting out of that roll back there. Roll dodge, a good way to get space, a good way to use your body to push your defender out of the way, but also a good way to disguise shots. You can see there, Mickelmeyer, he's come alive in this game. We haven't seen him do much in the series, and he's scoring today. I wonder if he could be a key factor in making this a more difficult game for the Steamers.
Second goal of the game, ties it up 9 apiece. And now every possession becomes incredibly important, and another face-off win leads to a fast break goal by Alex Van Boris. Steamers back in front.
Sitek's vision is key right now. It's essential. It's beautiful. He's seeing players in transition. The defense is sliding to him. I think if I'm Horde and I want to adjust to the amount of face-off wins that Sitek is getting, I'm going to try and draw him into muddier territory. I'm not going to send a guy directly to him. The Steamers are doing a good job of getting open and playing off of him. You need to see what happens when he tries to go to goal.
Third goal of the game for Alex Van Boris. All here in this second half. 1 goal lead again by the Steamers. Already only 4:45 to play in the game. That shot will go out of bounds, but it was touched last by the Steamers.
The Horde have a tough decision to make now. Do they keep playing how they have been with pretty aggressive dives, dodging hard? Do they try and settle it down and get better, more consistent looks because time is running out?
And a goal from out on the point. Zach Gleason ties it up.
I guess I'll eat my words. Just got down to the middle there. Gleason, time and room to shoot. That close. Capable player is going to make that shot 9 times out of 10.
First goal of the night for Zach Gleason. Ties the game for the 5th time, 10 apiece. And by the time they face this off, Jonathan, 4 minutes is all it'll be left in regulation.
Yeah, I'm wondering here, we haven't seen a team score more than 14 goals. I wonder if this is going to be a game where it could happen.
Dominic Shaw feeds it. That shot saved by Wade. And he'll smother it and pick it up in the circle. I've got to think the possessions would slow down a little bit here, and the defense has got to tighten up. Now down to 3:40 to play in the game.
Yeah, the possession of the ball becomes a lot more valuable.
And a 10-second violation against the Steamers. Careless play there, giving it back. Now Marietta will have it for Ohio Horde. And they will slow things down as Dominic Shaw will have it out on top.
They're probably going to space it out for Shaw. He's such a confident Dodger. He scored so much in this game. I don't know why they wouldn't give it to him late and see what happens.
Marietta takes it down, feed in front. Great save made. Bickelmeyer picks it up and scores again. It's Ohio Horde back in front, 3:10 remaining.
Bickelmeyer, for his size, is a pretty shifty player. He picks up a tough ground ball there, kind of errant bounce. Is able to finish that. I really love his shot placement. It hasn't got a lot of traditional places that keepers will expect the ball. Those low shots that we've seen on one end of the field, they don't apply to Bickelmeyer. He's putting it everywhere the keeper is not. Sitek
with a huge face-off win for the Steamers. 2:43 to play. Ball just ends up in the middle of no man's land. Gleason picks it up, and he'll hand it off. Shot by Woolen, bounces short, goes out of play, and it'll go back over to the Steamers. They dodge a big bullet right there on the turnover.
Again, Steamers coming off the field during that transition when Sitek just needed someone to goose it to. Again, I'm disappointed they don't keep their heads up and look to give him help.
Zagornis tried to feed it across the crease. It'll be picked up by Blake Carawan. 2:15 to play in the game. Steamers down by a goal. Smothering defense by Ohio Horde. They jar it free and come away with a turnover. Great play defensively by Brady Steffen. And now Ohio Horde will transition to the offensive end. Dominic Shaw galloping, crosses over, shoots it just wide. Rebound will be grabbed by Aiden Sexton. 1:53 to play in the game and a 1-goal lead.
There's never been a look Dominic Shaw has not liked.
Blackwell's shot misses. Rebound, Karam's out in front. Grabbed by the Stanley Steamers, 1:40 to play. Now running out of the defensive end is going to be Zagornis. Had it checked away, but it ends up rolling right to Korn. He'll take it in, fires and scores to tie the game. 1:31 to play, and we're all knotted up on the first goal of the game by Lachlan Korn.
This is a fun one. I'm excited to see where these next 1 minute and 30 seconds are going to take us. Players are coming up big. Korn, a transition guy. Haven't seen much from him in the series. Decides it's his time, his speed. He knew it was his chance. He took that ball. He cut through two players, and he got right to the goal. The confidence from the Steamers late in this game, confidence from the Horde late in this game, both showing that they think they can win.
Sitek sweeps it back. It's picked up by Camella. 3-on-2. Camella feeds it left. Now diving out in front, Zagornis got around the defender, but the stick stayed on his hands. And so he just wisely gave it off to Carawan. Feeds in front, Zagornis buries it!
Wow.
Steamers back in front.
Wow, the Steamers are coming alive. They found the right game to play some of their best lacrosse. They're having some looks that in the series we haven't seen from any team. A lot of cross-crease passes, a lot of tight spaces they're operating in, and they're making it happen. That third quarter, they were sloppy. They couldn't handle passes like that. And now all of a sudden, when it really comes to the end of the game, they're finding all the ways to score.
1:15 remaining in regulation, and Sitek had the face-off win, but it's picked up here by Galko. And now into the offensive end for Ohio Horde, finding themselves in a spot they haven't been in this series, trailing with a minute to go in the game, 12-11. Dominic Shaw and his 5 goals will give it up. Gleason, he'll stutter step out on top, fires it wide, all the way out into the cross of Sitek, who lost it, gathered by Jackson Carawan. 48 seconds to go and a 1-goal lead. Carawan high steps his way into the offensive end. Little surprised they didn't use a timeout right here, but maybe gonna save it in case. They can take it down to as far as 18 seconds left in the game, leading by 1. Down to 30 seconds to go. Carawan will just backpedal in front of his own bench. Gleason in front of him. Carawan gets the step through another defender, knocked to the ground. Shot clock will expire. Ohio Horde are gonna look to move. It'll be Galko. They're down by 1. Now they'll call the timeout into the offensive end with 15 seconds to play, and Ohio Horde down by a goal.
Todd, this might sound a little strange, but I almost wonder if you let your players play out transition there.
Wow.
Settled possession has not been the moneymaker for the Horde, and you had Bickelmeyer wide open and a Galko going down the alley who could draw some defensive players. I think that'll always be a toss-up. You're never going to be 100% on that call, but it's interesting to see what can the best team in this series do, at least the best record, with such little time on the clock.
The one thing they can do now is they're going to pull keeper Andy Lopez and go 6-on-5 here.
Absolutely. That makes sense to me. They're probably going to get a lot of ball movement. I would not be surprised if you'd see Shaw or Barkheimer with it in the end to score. But again, Bickelmeyer with 3-2. He's found some ways to score in the middle of the field. And again, keep this in mind. The Steamers right now are an 0-3 team. The Horde are 3-0. If that speaks to the closeness of this league, if you look at that scoreboard and see, I mean, well done by this whole organization to put together these teams.
12-11, Stanley Steemer, 17 seconds. They put 2 seconds back on the clock. Dominic Shaw will start with the ball out at the center of the field. And again, 6-on-5 here for the Ohio Horde.
Horde not used to this type of pressure. Can they step it up?
Feed in front, shot goes wide. 7 seconds, out of bounds. It's going to stay with Ohio Horde.
Oh boy.
6.9 seconds. Galko will start with it down in the corner. They blow the whistle, comes out to Bickelmeyer, fires! Save made by Mason! He'll hang on to it! Time will expire! And the Stanley Steamers have upset the unbeaten Ohio Horde 12-11.
Wow. I'm shocked. You know, you look at a matchup like this, you see how it was before. Steamers finding the perfect game to do the right things. Their off-ball looks improved. Their face-off wins, monstrous. Their scoring opportunities way more consistent. And you can see there's a surprised look on some players' faces from both teams. The Horde didn't know the Steamers had it in them, and the Steamers believed they could get that win and do.
The last 2 goals, down 11-10 with 3:10 to go. Lachlan Korn, an unsuspecting goal scorer, and then Zagornis with the Barry on a great feed to give them the lead. And then Josh Wade makes the game-winning save at the end. And just a terrific game here tonight.
Yeah, that was a close one through and through. I think teams lining up to give the high fives, and all of it deserved right now. What a fun game.
So the Stanley Steamers get their first win as the 4 seed, and now they will play in the Good River Cup tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Final again, Stanley Steamers 12, Ohio Horde 11. Stay with us, our second semifinal game between Resolute and Overpower is coming up in about 10 minutes.